Well, one of the people behind this is Amanat, the Director of Content and Character Development at Marvel Comics. Tracy Tandon spoke with Amanat to talk about the growing influence of women in comic books.
Absolutely. I think the concept of what a superhero is has significantly changed, and personally I think it's for the better, because we are reminding our fans that anyone can be a superhero, and that means anyone can take on the mantle of a Captain America or a Thor or a Spider-Man, and that is something that we are very, very proud of, because of the fact that we have changed the perception of what a traditional comic book hero is. We've also opened ourselves up to even more fans and more readers and more audiences.
Talk to me about your background a little bit, Sana, because, you know, how did you get to where you are today? Have you always kind of known what you wanted to do, or did you discover that along the way?
Well, I always wanted to work within, well, publishing of sorts, but I wanted to be a journalist, because in my mind I was like a young Muslim American girl. I grew up in New Jersey. I wanted to share people's experiences, give voices to the people, to individuals who didn't have the opportunity to share their voice, especially when you're young and you're looking at the misperceptions people have of minorities in general in this country. And I thought, oh, the way to do that is to be a journalist and share these stories. And somehow I made like a few left and right turns and ended up in comics. It's really hard to connect the dots as to how that happened, but I just love storytelling so much, and I love visual storytelling. And I found a connection between what I had always wanted to do and being able to do that within the pages of a comic book.
So Miss Marvel, Kamala Khan, is being regarded as a bit of a game changer in the industry. Why do you think that is?
So I agree and disagree with that for two different reasons. I think it's a game changer for a very obvious reason, in the sense that, yes, it's a character about a Muslim American. We don't have characters like that out there on television, in really any main media. It's a character that's Muslim during a time where, unfortunately, in this country, people are extremely negative against Muslims. And also, there are quote-unquote individuals out there who call themselves Muslims, who are completely changing what it means, who are changing the definition of Islam, and that is also very, very upsetting. And so she stands for, she goes against all of those stereotypes, and she's attempting to take back what people are trying to take away from her. On the other end of it, why I say it might not necessarily be a game changer is because you look at her for who she actually is, and she is just like any of our other heroes.
Sana, how has your background influenced the characters that you develop?
Well, you know, you share what you know, you tell what you know, and that's in anything that you do. A lot of times, you know, I work on a lot of characters who are not female, South Asian characters. But I try to go on a very small, basic level as to who they are as human beings and what their desires are, and I try to put myself in their place. Her relationship with her parents, a lot of those moments were definitely straight out of conversations I've had with my own parents. But for us, it comes down to what are those characters' fears and their wants, and how do we constantly challenge them throughout the way.
You know, when you think of the world of entertainment and comic book characters and storytelling, oftentimes you think of it as being fun and lighthearted. How do you balance the entertainment, lighthearted aspect of this with the responsibility of important storytelling?
Well, I think the way that you actually have strong storytelling is through humor. I think you can have emotive moments with gravitas as someone is cackling through stuffing a cheeseburger through their face and running to save the New York City from the next alien attack or whatever it is. You most certainly need that balance, but I think the way in is through humor and that human connectivity more than anything else.
So you've worked on some really diverse characters. You've created a Black Latino Spider-Man. You've created an American Korean Hulk. Now a Muslim American Miss Marvel. What's the reaction been from audiences? Have these characters been immediately received? Because you're really shaking the stereotype here.
Yeah, I mean, and to be clear, it's not just me. There's a lot of people involved. We have some fantastic editors working at Marvel, some really incredible writers and artists who are really the voices of what these characters are. We're just there as director of development and editor. I'm there to help sort of birth these things into life, these characters into life. But you know, for the most part, the reaction has been very, very positive. We've also had some negative responses because we are attempting to change these very precious characters. For people who have been living with them for decades and decades, we go in and we say, hey, by the way, we're going to make, you know, we're going to give the Captain America mantle to a black guy. Is that, you know, that's just what we've decided is important to us right now. And I think people just start freaking out because they think that we are never going to go back to where things were. We have to make sure that we are constantly challenging the status quo and reminding people that these characters are mantles for the ideals that we aspire to be. They're not genders, they're not races, they are ideas, and ideals specifically.